Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video. In today's video, the Assault Rumble Season 2. The actual season is live. And in today's video, we're going to dive into the fights as they should be. So the Whitebeard, Akinu, and Luffy fight have all been rectified with the correct colors. We have the rewards for the 1.5 season, and now we're moving into what the season should look like. And I did put out a video at the end of the 1.5 season with some teams that we used to take down that event. And honestly, those teams will still work very, very well. We'll touch on them quickly, but we're going to try some of the new lineups for what should be in today's video. So, we're going to do some runs, one against Whitebeard, one against Akinu, one against Luffy, and sort of showcase some different strats that might work, and like I said, talk about some old strats too. But if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. With that said, let's dive in. Alright, so to start it off, Whitebeard is a Psy character, as well as Ace and Marco. They are weak to Int and Striker units. Obviously, Scientists get a 20% buff alongside Bonnie Pirates, so you could run something like Bonnie for this particular fight. That could definitely work, but you kind of want to run Int Strikers. Characters like Rogue, characters like Apu is going to work really, really well here. But from what I've seen in this particular fight, I feel like the Dex team is just still going to do better. The Dex team looks a little bit like this one right here. This one just works exceptionally well. You get a lot of damage output if you get the right RNG with the defensive drops of Lucci as well as Ace. So, like, if you guys are struggling to sort of build a good in-strike team, just go to good old reliable Dex. This team here is definitely going to work wonders. But like I said, in today's video, we are going to try some of the new strats and sort of dive in. And realistically, for that to work, we do want to bring some of these big bopping int-based characters. Now, you have characters like your Rogue and Kid who are very, very good at nerfing Psy-based units. You do need to bring 6 strikers if you really want Saturn to work, but the problem with this particular lineup is just strikers are bad. Like, they're really bad. Obviously, we're buying into the whole bringing Int against Psy, but look, Psy can work good against Int as well, so we'll just be mindful of that. We have Apu here as well to sort of help us out with some good damage output against Psy-based units, but look, this fight is really only susceptible to Special Bind, which you do have with Saturn, you do have with Smoker on the bench, and you do have with Kid in the front there, so you definitely can do some fun stuff. I did opt into bringing Yamato, just to try and get some half-step shenanigans, maybe get a little bit more damage output off with that. Your Rogue does hit very, very hard. So if you do have your Rogue, he's going to be one of your better damage dealers. Yamato's also going to be one of your better damage dealers, so just be mindful of that. And as like I said, if you can get some half stats off, then some defensive drops with stuff like... that was annoying. Kid only hit 1 unit. That sucks. If you get the half stats off and then you just hit like a bunch of units with Apu and Kid, like your damage numbers can increase quite nicely. And then if you can sort of chain together a bunch of special binds, like you guys will see there, like the damage numbers are quite good with this particular team. I don't know, like I said, if you're really going to break what the Dex team was actually doing. The Dex team does seem like it's probably the more safer option when it comes to this particular fight. Remember, once you sort of start getting towards the back end of that sort of last 40 seconds-ish, it does start getting pretty dicey because Marco and Ace, they actually start doing damage. So that's where the special binding sort of really comes into play. Ace can special reverse. Whitebeard, just like he hits like a goddamn freight train. So like you do want to try and keep him away from attacking. So if Saturn could get the special bind off here, I don't think the timing sort of matches up. Fortunately, it's not meant to be. Maybe Kid can go. Get some special bind off. See, just hitting 1 unit, bro, kids. Like, it just ain't it, Chief. And that's, again, huge downside to this particular setup is, like I said, damage numbers can be good, but like right here in the last 20 seconds, like this is where it gets very, very scary. Because you kind of want to have life bonus too. So if you have 100, like level 150 units on the bench, characters like Shiki, for example, I threw on this team. He's obviously a Int Striker-based character. He works exceptional because, hit Ace. Oh, very nice. He works exceptional because you can get him to level 150 like fairly easily. Saturn not going there kind of hurts us a lot because we lose like a lot of damage. So 560,000, definitely not as good as what the Int team was doing. The Dex team was doing last particular season. Can still score fairly well, and I feel like with some better RNG, you probably see a bit of a better result. But like I said, if you guys have the Dex team, just give it a run. Moving on to Luffy now. Luffy is a Psy free spirit character that is weak to Int and cerebral characters. Scientists like Atlas are going to do very, very well. And then characters like Robin Koala are also going to do well. I feel like with this particular lineup, you will be able to crack some really big numbers. But look, it comes with high risk, high reward. And when RNG favors the brave, you will eventually get a really decent score, I believe, with something like this. But you will die most of the time. So we're going to go a little bit safer with something like Sabo. If you guys really want to try what we did last season, we were running something like this to sort of target the cerebral outlooks of Kobe. And then just let Luffy do his thing, Kuma do his thing, and just Akinu do his thing, and just get damage output with those particular characters. That team will get a very, very high threshold of damage. However, it dies a lot. Like, you'll have a lot of runs where you just lose. So if you want more of a safer build towards cerebral characters, build towards ink characters. Sabo, especially, he has the ability to nerf side-based characters. Chopper will keep you alive, and then you still have some pretty good damage output with Robin Koala and Atlas. Remember, Atlas is just super buffed for this particular fight. She is int, she is a scientist, and she is cerebral. So you're getting a lot of different buffs against this particular build. Unfortunately, Robin Koala, they don't classify as an int-based character. They are typeless over here in PvP because they are a dual character. So just be mindful of that too. So we're getting a haste. Haste for Chopper's not good. Chopper's here to keep us alive, but if you get a haste ability for something like or something like Atlas, is way, way more beneficial. Robin and Koala went very, very early too, and a lot of our characters have been like knockbacked. The downside to this fight too is they have so much speed, they have haste. Luffy hits like a goddamn freight train. The back end of the fight, Zoro starts hitting really hard. Luffy has an AoE shot, which is just absolutely disgusting. So this fight is actually, it's pretty hard. Like it's a pretty tricky fight to navigate. And I feel like trying to get some of the highest scores on this particular fight, a lot of teams struggle just purely because of how much damage output Luffy can do. When you get to the last 20 seconds of the fight, Luffy just absolutely rocks your world and just starts dropping characters left, right, and center. And then all of a sudden, not only do you lose the fight, but even if you win with like one character left, you lose literally all of your life bonus. So even if you do win and you end up getting a score, the score is actually pretty pitiful because, like I said, you lost all your life bonus. So this is where stuff gets real dicey. Lucky we didn't have to deal with the haste there. Chopper's going to heal us back up, which is really good for our life score. And should just keep us going for the rest of the fight. But as you guys will see here with the damage numbers, once Sabo does his thing there, the damage numbers at 346, like, it's not terrible. So if you're looking at making your way up the ranks, and you are sort of like that mid-level player, like this team should definitely help you out. Like, you really want Atlas to go. Come on, Atlas, please. Please, just don't die and get a shot off. Please. See, like, there's so much damage. Like, stop hitting Luffy, please. Just stop. Stop. I would love a Robin Koala shot as well, please. Stop, Luffy, bro. Come on, man. Jesus Christ. God damn it. They still got half stats, which is good. Yeah, see, Atlas is the one that's doing majority of the bulk damage. Beautiful 1 second left. Oh, it's so good. So good. I would have liked one more Atlas special in here somewhere, but look, beggars can't be choosers. 670,000 damage. Obviously, then building into your trusty characters and your life bonus, you can get a pretty nice score. It's actually a new record, so we'll definitely take that. I haven't been like funneling gems into this like I was last time, just because like I feel like falling top 100 is just for very minimal gem investment is definitely better for my my mental state. So we're going to round it out with the Akinu fight, and Akinu is weak to slasher characters. So characters like Nami, characters like the new Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, they're going to work quite well. And this is the particular team that I sort of put together, and I just love running like this. Or I didn't necessarily put together. Shout out to Itachi, but I just love running this team, man. It's so good. If you guys want to try your luck, though, and throw in something like this, the strength team, like I said, just like the last fight, it does dividends. The Giants hit so hard because they are a slasher character. If you have Doflamingo 6+, like, you could throw him on the team, and, like, you just do absolutely wondrous things with this particular build over something like Kaido. But like I said, we're going to funnel into what the rule set wants us to funnel into, so we do want to try and bring a side-based team. We do have a very heavy investment team here. Obviously, level limit break 5 Nami, 150 Akinu, and 150 Garp, 130 limit break expanded Luffy, Zoro, Sanji. So, like, this is more of just a showcase what this team can do over in the Assault Rumble game mode. Slash's teams will work very, very nicely, but this Akinu fight is actually really tricky. You could just run your stereotypically bulky slasher-based build. Roger Rally Gaban's going to work great over here. You can use the Esper PvP Legend over something like Akinu with this particular build, because Esper is a shooter character, so you're buffing Kizaru, and you can do some really fun stuff that way. The idea of using Kizaru, though, is just to get Garp and Akinu moving very, very quickly. And then if Kizaru dies, you have the auto proc special. You don't necessarily need the Robin special. She's just more like a unit that kind of comes in and just does some really good nerfing with her passive. So once like Kizaru dies like that, he's just going to auto proc, get a bit more damage numbers off for you, get some cooldowns for those characters that are hitting very, very hard, and then you can kind of go from there. So he's always pretty much going to die no matter what. And obviously that is going to affect your life bonus, but like you could throw some other Psy Slashes on the team. Like you could use Roger, you could use Psy Odin, you could throw on the Sanji over Luthor Sanji if you guys want to try and do some stuff with anti-ints. You could use something like Gin as well from the PvP recruits. So you have options when it comes to Psy-based team, but look, just like int and strikers, like the team... The side team just kind of lacks a lot. So if you really want to get those higher numbers in this particular game mode and you really want to rank, you are going to have to sort of funnel some gems in, really throw balls to the wall with the strength-based team, and sort of just hope that you can just sort of get it done that way. Otherwise, you might get really, really lucky with another particular run of like Psy Slashes or something like that. You could use Roger and Newgate, but look, characters that bypass defense aren't stereotypically the ones that are going to give you the most damage output. They give you consistent damage output, and it's very good damage output, but it's not the highest. You really want to start lowering defense and getting shots off against characters that have lower defense, buying into that sort of RNG factor and whatnot as well. So as you can see here, like we're doing some pretty nice damage, but like we're only sitting around that 350,000 mark. It's not game breaking, it's not groundbreaking, and it's sort of not just going to get us over the line when it comes to the higher builds. But like I said, if you really want that for your accounts, you are going to have to sort of run the gauntlet with the strength-based teams. From what like I know right now, or what I believe some people are doing, there are some different teams floating around from last season. I've just seen like number-based. I don't actually know the teams. And at the end of the day, if I don't build a team, I don't necessarily like to make content on it. So if I do make something on it after the season's over, look, just be mindful that that's because it probably didn't come from me. It came from an exterior source that I'm going to always respect wishes of not sharing. But that's going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Lights!